Listen, man, listen. There are some things you're like, wow, did that really happen? Like, when like in like 90, was it 393 or something? 90 something. I was at sea, maybe it was 80 something. And the space shuttle fell out of the sky. And I was like, uh, wow, did that happen? Like when I saw the World Trade Centers fall, the towers, like, wow, did that happen? Maybe, like if you saw the Lindenberg, uh, or was it the Hindenburg, whatever that dirigible was, uh, like when it like caught on fire in the sky, like the Titanic fell over and sank. That's how you feel when certain things happen. And over there in Australia, it has occurred that the former national president of the Bandidos motorcycle club um stepped down, or I don't want to say stepped down, I want to say switched sides to a what some would say a rival 1% motorcycle club. Like you almost think like, wow, can that happen? Like, is that possible? And yeah, I guess it is. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons why after this brief introduction. And I think you'll find it interesting. So join me as we discuss right after this. Swoosh, swoosh. How are you guys? I'm Black Dragon. I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Black Dragon Biker TV. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. Thanks for tuning in with me for these, oh my God, since 16? Dude. 17, 18, 19, 21, 2, 3. Wow, 7 years. Holy moly. It's good to have you all. And if you like this kind of stuff, this kind of news, and this, that, and the other, and my format, please like, share, and subscribe. We would absolutely appreciate that. So, let me see if you guys can bring up that screen for me. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go look at this here. The Daily Mail reports that the Bikey World has been shocked when a bikie, excuse me, this is Australia, so we have to call 1%ers Bikey there. And although, here that would be like a lame term, like Bikey, but there that's what you say, and when in Rome or Australia, do as the Romans or the Australians do. So Jason, how do you say his last name? Is it Fahey, maybe Jason Fahey. If I'm screwing up your name, please forgive me. We over here don't always speak right. But anyway, Jason Fahey, let us say, for the time being, shocked the Bikey World when he turned his back on the Bandidos motorcycle club over there in Australia for the rival Hells Angels. They say gang, we like to say motorcycle club. But there's just one issue, and it's written all over his older brother's body. So here's the things you should know. For my viewing audience, they just listed they bolded it right here for my listening audience. You should know that a senior Bandido, former national president named Jason Fahey, is now a Hells Angel. Like, where does that happen? His brother John was a Bandido sergeant at arms, but his body is still, John's body is still covered in tattoos. So what are they going to do about that? So the article starts off, blood might be thicker than water, but associates of two Bikey brothers could be asking if it runs deeper than ink. Why, you might ask? News that former Bandidos national president Jason Fahey has joined the Hells Angels might complicate family matters for the infamous Bikey leader. Fahey's older sibling, John, was a longtime Bandidos national sergeant at arms, still heavily marked with the club's tattoos, although he too has Hells Angels links. Is that to say he's also a Hells Angel or that he has Hells Angels links? I don't know. John, who used to style himself as a menace to society on social media, has his old gang's name, or we say motorcycle club, down his left arm and over his stomach, as well as Bandidos Forever, BFFB, Bandidos Forever, Forever Bandidos, across his chest. So here for my viewing audience it looks like the name Bandidos is tattooed across his stomach, right across his chest. There's Bandidos Forever, Forever Bandidos, BFFB, and he's got Bandidos running down his arms. Like, your boy is at one time, your boy was on the game. He was with it at one time. And no longer. It seems that, and that's why, you got to be in my club for 5 years before you're able to get any ink for this very reason right here, for this reason. Because not everybody that says that they're with it forever are with it forever. So here they say club tattoos are serious business in outlaw motorcycle. We say clubs, with departing members expected to cover these tattoos over if they don't want the tags forcibly removed. Now, we all saw Sons of Anarchy when they burned that tattoo off of that guy's back. And I got to be honest. I've been in motorcycle clubs my whole life, and I had never seen anything like that until I saw Sons of Anarchy. And I was like, damn, they get down like that? Mind me never to tattoo nothing about no club on me, because I can't, boy, you burn that off my back. I don't care how tough you are. We can't be friends again. We can't hang out. I can't walk past the clubhouse anymore and just hang my head in shame because I didn't do the right thing. Listen, you burn a tattoo off my back, bro, you will never be in that clubhouse again. I'm blowing it up. It reminds me of when these guys were picking on a guy out there in San Diego that I came up with. His name was Vapors. Vapors is a racer dude and everything. And he was standing on the corner in front of my clubhouse, and some guys were giving him some mess. And one of the guys had mentioned that he was going to, Vapors was a short guy. His name was Vince. He was a short guy. And a lot of people thought that they could pick on him. And I remember when they said to Vapors, we might hit you or something, he said, well, you might. And you might whoop my ass. But you'll never, ever again be able to stand in this corner and talk about it. They left him alone. Sometimes people know you ain't playing. But anyway, they indicate that this man could have a problem. And here under the picture, former Bandidos national president Jason Fahey, I think it's Fahey. He's the guy on the left. Both of these guys, you may notice, have these $100,000 chains on. In case you didn't know. I mean, let me try to make the picture bigger for y'all. These guys are styling and profiling with the right. Those chains, those hunks cost a little money right there. The Versace shorts. These guys ain't playing, man. They ain't playing. So it makes me think I'm in the wrong business. I didn't do things like I should. So anyway, the guy on the left was the former national president. He patched over to the Hells Angels. His brother in the center still has all of these. He was the former national sergeant at arms. So that must have been cool to have your brother as national sergeant at arms and your brother as national president. So they say John is the guy in the right. John's the guy in the middle here. That's the brother. John's present status, if any, within the Bikey world is unclear. So they don't know what he is, who he's with, or without. They don't know his status. But he was photographed shirtless with Jason on a Sydney harbor 2 years ago, displaying his Bandidos ink. So if that's how long ago it was, we don't know if he still has it or not. The Fahey brothers grew up in public housing at Tilopia in Sydney's northwest and attended Cumberland High School, where John starred at rugby and basketball, the middle guy. He was offered a contract to play league with Parramatta Eels. John, a father of four, has a daughter with Alania Vader, who became the partner of former Hells Angel and Finks member Ben Notorious Geppert. So he's just keeping in the community over there. The two bikies and Vader became engaged in a public spat over John's daughter in 2019. The same year, Geppert said he had quit the gangster life to become a tradie. Well, I don't know what a tradie is. Maybe it's someone who trades in commodities, whatever. The Daily Telegraph reported on Monday that Jason Fahey had abandoned the Bandidos to take on a senior role with the Hells Angels as the club aggressively expanded in Sydney. And this expansion is really interesting, how and why the Hells Angels are expanding so quickly and taking advantage of some of the lay of the land out there and some of the misfortunate events, such as arrests and things like that, that have happened with clubs that would be formerly their rivals. After a decade at the top of the Bandidos hierarchy, Jason is considered a major figure in the bikie underworld, while his brother claims to no longer be part of it. So John says, I ain't in this anymore at all. This is a social media influencer. And the picture here for my listening audience is, this is a picture of the former national president with this social media influencer over there. So after a decade at the top, the caption says, Jason is considered a major figure in the bikie underworld, while his brother claims to be no longer a part of it. Here he is pictured with a model and influencer, Shay Conley. She's rather beautiful. And yeah, that's the $100,000 or more Rolex there. And hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gold hanging off your bro. Some observers find it hard to believe Jason has switched allegiances when he posted an image of himself arm in arm with senior Hells Angels on an Instagram post. And that's the picture you see on the cover of this video here. One shocked response was Uganda HA with all kind of question marks behind it. Another commenter took a different view. Cousin, it's about time. Welcome to the biggest and best MC worldwide. The Hells Angels recently opened a Bayside chapter at Brighton Lee Sands. in Sydney's south, which had traditionally been a stronghold of the Comanchero Motorcycle Club. The latter club has been in disarray with leaders Mark Buttle. Remember, we've done a story about him. Alan Meehan, story about him. Mick Murray and Tariq Zahid, stories about all those guys. Behind bars, awaiting trial for various alleged offenses. So they've lost their leaders. Police and underworld figures expect more bikies to join the Hells Angels after Rebels chapter in Western Sydney. It had a wholesale defection. That whole chapter just left and went. Hells Angels, I believe. And that's like, we've been seeing a little bit of this around the country. It's going on in America too. And we're going to talk about why in a few minutes. Things are changing. It used to be, here in the United States anyway, once you entered a 1%er club, you were there for life. At least that's what they said. And if you left it, you were off the bike set, period. There wasn't this 1%er club is going to go over there, or this chapter switches to over there. That could be a very terrible thing. But now with these younger people in place, they have different motivators. So this commenter said, okay, that's really great. Some of these groups are in disarray because their leaders are behind bars, and they expect more defections. In 2013, it was reported John, the brother, had defected to the Hells Angels after being a member of the Bandidos for 15 years. His former clubmates had set up an Instagram page belittling him. And so here are the two brothers again in this picture. And you see this brother has the very expensive chain. This is the former national president with what is known as the fat Mexican hanging down from that chain. You know, a lot of us, when we get into positions of, when we've been in clubs our whole lives, we get these little gold trinkets. I wish I got to go get a fat. This is not right. Okay. This is not right. I'm looking at their chains. Mine is because the father of the Black Sabbath gave me this, but I'm absolutely good. I can't be watching their chains and not be wanting to upgrade mine. This is sad. Let me just tuck my little thing. No, I'm gonna put mine back out with pride. I'm gonna put it back out with pride. Yeah. Anyway. Oh my goodness, I have so much fun. So these guys are there they are standing in their stuff, and the caption, John Fahey, who used to style himself as a minister of society, has, okay, so we can see BFFB tattooed on his chest, and the two brothers are pictured here. At the time, John was living on the Gold Coast, and Jason was already the Bandidos' national president. In 2014, John said he realized his life was at a crossroads, had quit the Bandidos, and wanted to focus on coaching a rugby league. That's nice. He had even written to Supercoach Wayne Bennett asking for advice on how to achieve his new goal of mentoring footballers. Evidence presented in a court case in January that year suggested John had moved on to the Hells Angels after resigning from his old club in 2013. John reportedly left the Gold Coast. John had left the Gold Coast, and he had I'm sorry, somebody came walking into my studio, and but it had to put him out. All right, so evidence presented in court case in January that year suggested he had moved on and from his old club in July 2013. He reportedly left the Gold Coast after the Queensland's Premier Campbell Newman's anti-gang laws stopped the Hells Angels from establishing themselves in a place called Burleigh Heads. I don't know where that is. In 2016, John was arrested over a pub brawl at the Family Inn and Ryder Mill in Sydney's West. And 3 years later, he complained that the police, the New South Wales police, gang busting strike force Raptors had stopped him from visiting various licensed venues. So one of the problems that they have over there is that once they get on bad terms with the police can follow them around and tell them where they can go and can't go and all kinds of craziness. So he said on a post on social media, "Gang Squad, keep up the good work," sharing a photo of an official warning for habitually consorting with convicted offenders. Like they got laws over there. You can't talk to, we got some of those over here too. Like if you're on parole, you can't talk to former gang members or stuff. They got those same kind of laws, but they're even worse, where you can't talk to people in that were like formerly in your club and stuff like that. It's crazy. So he got a official warning for habitually consorting with convicted offenders. That's crazy. He said, "Good to see when blokes are no longer bikies, have moved on in their life, and you're still trying to F them." Man. So he said, "You really put me out by barring me from Aldi's. Thanks, guys. My missus is spewing." Oh, I haven't heard the word spewing in a while. I like that. So, like, your boy is just being pushed around, can't go anywhere, and all this, that, and the other. I found an interesting biker news channel like mine. I didn't know they had biker news other places. I just thought we were the only biker news people. But there's a biker news channel called Grid Sparta. The link is in the description below. This guy's got 53,000 subscribers. And somebody said here the same thing one of my people said. Somebody said, I just saw somebody say that I wouldn't trust I wonder if it's the same guy. I wouldn't trust someone who's supposedly loyal to a club and trying to join a rival club expect loyalty. They've already proved otherwise. And that's really interesting how this guy said 7 days ago, how could anyone in that club actually trust a man who turns on his own club and patches over to another club? Surely his loyalty would always thereafter be in doubt, as if he can turn on one club, he could do it again. If it meant he gets what he wants, this just trashes everything that the MC stood for over all these years. It's really interesting that these two would comment about the same kind of thing half a world apart, knowing how we feel about our about how we love this MC thing. But I suggest to you that they have there's a different agenda here. And I'm going to cover that in just a minute, but we're going to look at this for a second. And this is the story here. I want you to check this out because it gives us some more insight to what's actually going on.
Sydney's bikie scene is seeing another change as the mighty Hells Angels expand their presence in the city. The club has been making waves in recent weeks, with reports indicating that it is rapidly gaining members and establishing itself as a force to be reckoned with. According to the reports, 81's expansion in Sydney is part of a broader strategy to increase its presence in major Australian cities. The club's leadership believes that Sydney offers a unique opportunity for outlaw business, given the extensive reach and scale of the city's criminal underworld network. The expansion started after the Angels established a new chapter named Hells Angels Bayside in Brighton Les Sands, once considered a Comanchero stronghold. Hells Angels also made significant strides in expanding their presence in Sydney by successfully converting an entire Sydney chapter of Rebels MC to their club. This was considered a significant success for the Hells Angels, as the Rebels have long been considered one of the largest and most powerful outlaw motorcycle clubs in the city. With this conversion, the Hells Angels have not only gained a significant number of new members but also weakened their rival's stronghold in the area. Another significant event in the expansion of the Hells Angels in Sydney has recently been confirmed with the news that Jason Fahey, the Bandidos national president, has patched over to the 81s. This move is considered a major triumph for the Hells Angels, as Fahey is a well-known and influential figure in the Australian bikie community, having spent more than 10 years in leading the Bandidos. According to reports, Fahey held significant power and influence within his club and had a reputation for using ruthless and often violent tactics to maintain his authority. His authority was also matched with his humor and wit. This combination of power, money, influence, and wit has made Fahey a legendary figure within the world of bikie clubs. Fahey declared his patching over when he posted an image of himself arm-in-arm with senior Hells Angels members. This included Liverpool chapter boss Shian Jabari Far, signaling he had moved over to what was once considered an enemy of his former club. Fahey's decision to join the Hells Angels is expected to have a significant impact on other Bandidos bikies. He is a big name, and his move to the Hells Angels will likely inspire others to do the same. The Fahey brothers, Jason and John, were both prominent leaders of the Bandidos motorcycle club at a national level, known for their fearsome reputations. The duo had established a strong presence in multiple territories across Australia, including Sydney, the Gold Coast, and the South Coast. However, in 2013, John Fahey defected to the rival 81s after spending 15 years with the Bandidos. This caused a major rift with his former clubmates and led to bitter animosity between the two groups. Meanwhile and until now, Jason Fahey remained loyal to the Bandidos, often showing his support for the club through social media posts and proudly sporting his gold chain with a fat Mexican gold pendant. Jason Fahey has a debt-collecting business and is well known to police. According to reports, he was responsible for collecting drug debts, protection money, and loan shark debts for the club and his own business. He often acted as the muscle for the club, using force, influence, and intimidation tactics to collect the unpaid dues. His role was often referred to as an enforcer or collector in the organized crime enterprise. The Hells Angels, one of the oldest in the world, traditionally has never had large numbers in Sydney like the Rebels, but was always considered one of the most powerful because of its links all over the world. It is the world's largest bikie club with almost 4,000 members across an estimated 475 chapters in more than 60 countries. Angelo Pandelli, the national president of the Hells Angels, is still considered to be the club's boss despite leaving Australia several years ago and now believed to be living between Greece, Cyprus, and Dubai. Both police and underworld sources believe the Hells Angels are capitalizing on other clubs being vulnerable. In Sydney, Hells Angels have 8 chapters, or charters as they are called. These are Hells Angels Iron City, Hells Angels West Side, Angels Cobra Crew, Hells Angels Sydney, Hells Angels Inner Circle, Hells Angels Chinatown, Hells Angels Brutal South, and Bayside. In Australia's largest city, the 81s are taking advantage of other clubs who are not at their top game. For example, most of the top Comanchero kingpins and masterminds are in jail and the club is struggling for proper directions. The Rebels have fallen away since Alex Vela got booted out to Malta and no one has been able to match his charisma. And the Bandidos are losing grip with low numbers and poor strength. Their territory is rapidly diminishing. Likewise, the Lone Wolf are still out there, but they don't have the cash, and have been sidetracked after they lost their mastermind and Top Gun aircon Eric the Wolf Keskine. According to reports, New South Wales police are familiar about the dynamics of power within outlaw motorcycle clubs, including the recent changes in leadership and affiliations. Fahey's decision to publicly switch from the Bandidos to the Hells Angels is noteworthy, and police are expected to pay close attention to him and his activities, as he is now a senior member of a rival club. Sydney police are likely to monitor Fahey's actions closely.
Look at that. MC News and Reports. Wow! Wow, man. More biker news you can trust out there. Yeah, go over there and subscribe, but don't look at them more than me, whatever you do. So, somebody said, what is insane is that this entire video was made with an AI program. Yeah, that's the new thing. And you can hide behind that. You can put that out on a completely different channel that you create with an AI name. And yeah, Matter of fact, that's what happened to Hollywood and Marcos just a couple of days ago. Uh, so this is what I want to say. I want to say, I think, and this one commenter says it right here. The 81 are powerful over there. The dude probably thought about the decision and did what he had to do. The club set over there is very different. They have a different motivator. I want you to notice that when you're looking at the motorcycles this guy is sitting on, these are average Harley Davidsons. This guy is sitting on high dollar motorcycles, high dollar gold chains, Versace robes. Yeah, this guy is a king. He's living over there like a damn king. The motorcycle club world, for those guys over there, it ain't the same old broke ass world it is for some of us. Did you see some of the pictures of some of his top lieutenants? They all had them same chains on. And here's one here. Oh, let me take that down. There's one right there. You know, his top dudes. These guys are in the gym. They got yachts and all this kind of business. These folks ain't just a whistling Dixie. They have financial motivators. They're not over there fighting over dumb stuff. If they're shooting somebody or killing somebody, some money's rolling, some money's involved. There ain't none of this. I would, I'm not over there. Just from what I can see, it's a higher level on the game. These guys are actually dealing with things that are returning huge investments. They're not. I don't know necessarily that they're in it for the love of MC. Like I was saying in the beginning, like I can't imagine what would ever make me, after becoming a national president. I've been in my club 35 years. What would make me leave my club? Especially like over here, you would imagine you got to prospect all over again or something like that, because clubs do that kind of thing. But if a club was really interested in your talent, man, everybody hated it when LeBron James left Cleveland, but your bro had to go do what he had to do. It brings a different idea to the mix. And if motorcycle clubs started acting more like businesses, and all these beefs and shooting each other for fights that we've been in 35 years ago, and we don't even know what started the fights anymore, man. That I did that video talking about if all motorcycle clubs came together. These guys are seeing, okay, yeah, the rebels lost their top dudes, and the Timberwolves or whatever their name was, those guys, the Lone Wolves have lost their guys, and oh my goodness, the such and such are weak over here. We could use them 4 dudes. That would be a good pickup team over there. Hey, can we trust a person? I can trust a person is going to be working on his own bag, securing what needs to happen. He could be trusted just damn fine. So we have different. They have different motivators. They grabbed it's not like they grabbed a Rudy boot. It's not like that Hells Angels Motorcycle Club grabbed a scrub. They grabbed a guy who built himself up from the housing projects and came up through the ranks, and may have gotten his brother too. They got some kingpins. They might not be coming over as national presidents, but they ain't coming over as scrubs. And see, OG Cajun says right there, I love my club. I can't imagine leaving it. And um, and the thing I would say is love is a feeling. And real businessmen and real one percenters, how much do they operate on I think, I like, I want, or I feel? These are feelings. I think is not I know. I like and I want is not what is necessarily reality. I feel is not a real scientific conclusion. I believe. A lot of people believe in things that there's just no factual evidence for. I believe the jab will work. I believe the jab won't work. Neither one of those folks has a degree, is a doctor, has saved any lives. They just believe. I think, I like, I want, I feel, I believe, I trust that. In my opinion, these things are not facts. These are feelings. And grown ass men shouldn't be operating on feelings. Trust but verify. What was the Russian guy that said that? Khrushchev or somebody. Trust but verify. Speak softly but carry a big stick. All these kinds of things. Investigation, research, not feelings. So they have a different idea than we do. They have a different motivation, which is greenbacks or whatever color their money is. Be a different. I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying that I agree with it, but I absolutely understand where it's coming from. Hey, Black Dragon, did you hear the biggest 1% club in Denmark, Satadura, has closed, and the former members have created a new club named Comancheros? No, I hadn't heard that. I hadn't heard that. That's news to me. Duke Rose said, show me how to make some of that kind of paper. Duke, I was going to ask them the same thing. I don't know, though, if you're ready. I mean, this guy made his money collecting loans owed by underworld figures. Well, you got to be ready to step on out there. And Turkey, the Red Devils MC, are strictly about the bags, the dollar bags, says Parham. Yeah, I've never been to any of those places. In the motorcycle club world. It'd be interesting. If they jump from one, they'll jump from any. They are simply for sale, no loyalty. Well, I don't know. Maybe their loyalty is not based on the same thing your loyalty is based on. But, you know, they have a different way of seeing things. Pastor Kennedy said they have lost their brotherhood, the brotherhood. Maybe so. Maybe so. Especially the way that that we look at it. Sounds more like step brotherhood, says Barnum. CS says the official statement is that they couldn't agree with the international. Well, I'm going to tell you something, guys. A lot of motorcycle clubs have club splits. Especially when you get so big. Like the original 1%er motorcycle clubs were very small. 8, 10, 15 people. Once you start getting hundreds and thousands of people big, it's hard to keep that nucleus the way it is. Then you get these new guys that come in the club and they have new ideas and they start voting for each other. and everything's done by vote, when that starts to happening, you can get your club taken over. You can lose the club culture. And those guys that want that club culture will move or create a spinoff or kick the other half out or whatever the case may be. Somebody says they're not putting me down. Oh, Grumpy Rich, I don't think you're putting me down. I watch Black Dragon all the time. I'm just saying there's nothing biker about this whole story except the names of the clubs. I understand. I understand. OG Cajun is upset. I invested my entire life into my club. I love my brothers. Again, love, like, want, feel, emotions. But I love my brothers too. I've been here 35 years, so I know. One of my club brothers said, I've been with my club for 2 years now. I couldn't go anywhere else, but Black Sabbath forever, forever Black Sabbath. And we love, hey! I know, brother. I know. I gotta say, one of these clubs came to me with hey man, we'll give you $1 million a year. Oh, man. Oh, I can't. Hold on. I can't. Let me. Okay. What did you say? I don't talk. Just teasing. Oh my goodness. Somebody said Brotherhood is a feeling. Are they mad at me about that, or are they saying that? I don't know. Brotherhood is whatever brotherhood is to you. Some people wouldn't take $1 million for their brotherhood, and some people would. Yeah, guys, I'm just saying that there are different motivators for the MC life. And their motivator might not be yours. We always make it seem like, to be loyal to the money is a bad thing. I mean, this is a Western ideal that comes from our religious backgrounds that money is evil. We definitely see that people do a lot of evil things to get money. Somebody said, the way I see it, 99%er is the way to go after seeing what happened to BA from 81. Yeah. Not everybody can do that life. Not everybody. Remember, we do all kinds of stories about these guys getting murdered in the worst ways. Right? Like, a lot of them don't live to be old. Duke Rose says, if you're earning, they're not concerning about what you do. Money rules. And it does in many circles. Not all clubs in Australia are like this. Still heaps of old school clubs with old school morals, says Zook. Zook, not Duke says that. Don't be looking at the headlines, Black Dragon. There's a lot of old school clubs here. And I'm with you, man. I'm absolutely with you. Somebody said, I'm not mad, Black Dragon, just my take on. I don't think any of you guys are mad. If I said that, I apologize. It's a discussion. MC life is about the pose, definitely promoting a feeling. For some it is. For some it is about the pose, the chest sticking out. Duke Rose says the most important thing, everybody remember to hit the like button. Gronk says, I love my brothers. They don't always make it easy. No, sir. No, they don't. But I can't see me leaving. I can't either, man. But I do recognize that those other guys may have other concerns, other reasons why they do this all. And I find it very interesting. This story I find just very interesting when I take it all in. Anyway, 44 minutes. What we know is something like I couldn't imagine. And I've been offered to go to every kind of club you can think of. every kind of club you can think of. And believe it or not, some of the offers have been patched straight over. We appreciate who you are, and nobody would ask you to prospect again or something crazy like that. I just have, and I've been through some uh, I've been through some uh, tough spots in my MC. Some real tough spots where it's been hard for me to stay involved. I mean, my MCs put me on the crying table, on bended knees, praying to God. But I still have not found a motivator strong enough to make me leave. That's not saying it could never happen. No one knows the future. But I say 35. It's actually 34 years. 34 years still there. 34 years still there. So, but my motivators are different. You know, those of us who've never had money don't particularly necessarily find it a motivating factor. It's like I have a dog who I got one dog, Brutus, who is a foodie, and you can make him do anything, train him to do anything because all you got to do is hold some food up. But Braveheart was not a foodie. So he had a different motivator. You could hold a snack up in front of him and tell him to sit all day long, and he would look at you like you were crazy. He ain't begging for no food off your plate, and he might eat every 2 days. He just was not a foodie. So, different motivator. Wick says Brotherhood is doing what's right, not what is popular, telling them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. That is Brotherhood. But somebody else says it's all about having fun, camping, parties, good company with the brothers. So, you know, it's all there. Duke Rose was particularly pleased with Wick. Damn, preach it, brother. So we have it. The 99% club hopping is one thing. I don't see how someone that jumps 1% clubs can be taken seriously. Well, I'm sure they take him seriously over there. They just don't have our same motivators. Black Dragon, will you suggest being open and honest to a support club about your intentions to eventually try for the dominant? You got to be open and honest. Well, you know, why would you join a support club if you weren't looking to eventually become part of the dominant? In my mind, I'm always trying to struggle to go up. I want to be at the top of the organization. And I did that. So if my organization had been part of a support club, then I would have wanted to climb to the top and keep to the top of my support club and then climbed on up and made it to the big leagues. I feel like I'm worthy of the big leagues of whatever organization I'm in. I've always strived to be the best. I've always strived to have the best grade in my class. I've always strived to turn in the best paper, the best homework assignment. I've always enjoyed my teacher giving me the best praise. I've always wanted to be the best at what I do. I've always wanted to have a channel where people say, "Oh, that guy is honest. He's going to he's going to cover everything honestly." Now people actually call me. Clubs actually call me. And one of the first things they start out with is, "We know you're honest. That's why we're calling you." It takes a long time to build up that kind of a reputation, and it comes from being as honest as you can, as much of the time as you can. Nobody tells the truth every time unless you're like Mother Teresa or somebody. But being honest, sometimes you have to tell the occasional white lie, like, "Officer, I wasn't speeding." What do you know why I pulled you over? No. You know why he pulled you over. So sometimes that's the white lie. But to my brothers, I've always tried to be honest. Always tried to be. So yeah, but that doesn't mean you got to always tell your business. The left hand doesn't have to know what the right hand is doing all the time either. So when to present things is just as important as presenting them. Somebody said, "Don't play the player. Don't blame the player. Blame the game." BS walks, money talks for so many, and yes, it does. For so many, it does. And a lot of you have to really question yourselves. It's easy to make statements and proclamations and rah-rah on social media, but if you were in that kind of lifetime, in that kind of life, and you were to see, what is your motivator? If your motivator is providing for your family and the motorcycle club is just a module to get you there. It's a module that you found, and that module has worked, and you see that module getting weak, and you're strong, and you realize, I say, and watch this. I say is it 5? I say there are a number of reasons, and I've made videos about this, a number of reasons to leave your motorcycle club. I think I might have said there were 5. Reason 1, you change, you want to like move up. If you're in a 99% club and you're no longer a 99%er, and now you want to move to a 1, that's a valid reason to change. Or you want to move down. You're a 1%er and you can't hold that no more. I got a grandkid now. My daughter died. I got to raise my grandkid. I can't do this. So you may want to move up or you may want to move down. 3, your club no longer holds your values. I know a girl who was in a club and she fell off her motorcycle at 25 miles an hour, busted her head wide open, and had brain fluid leaking out of her head. She laid in the hospital for 3 or 4 months. Her club never came to see her, not one time. When she finally got out of the hospital, they wanted to take her colors for missing club meetings. Do you think she felt like she was misusing that club when she left? So, change of heart, change of vision, no longer seeing the same vision as the club. The club lets you down in that kind of a way. I think there were 5 in my video. 1 is if your club is doing things that you don't support. And I think the 5th thing was like, I got to do that video over again. The 5th thing is if you we're ready to leave the lifestyle or something like that. I can't remember what all 5 were, but there are some legitimate reasons that you would leave like your club cheated on you, stole on you, took your wife, or snitched you out, left you out to dry. That would be a good reason to leave them, folks. So maybe some of those are in his reason. I never said money, though. I didn't even think about that. War Gorilla says, I tell my brothers all the time, I'm not going to lie to you to make you feel better about yourself. I'm going to tell you the truth on how to better yourself. But that can make you understand. That's a strong statement. But if that's the statement you follow, you're not going to be popular. You're not going to be the popular dude. You could be the most hated. The popularity goes out the window. So you can be honest and you can be brutally honest and you can always be honest, but it comes with a price. Are you willing to pay to be the always right dude in the room, or the always ever honest dude, or the brutally honest dude? You might be the loneliest dude in the room, or dudette, depending on what kind of club you're in, right? All right. We lost Tina Turner today. And I have been watching her since I was a little boy. So we're sad to see her go. She died, I guess she was 83, and after a long illness. I didn't even know she was ill. She lived a very public life. I read her book. She was horribly abused by her husband, Ike Turner. And she was able to crawl out of that. And the only thing she asked for when she left her marriage, she didn't get any money, she didn't get any houses, she didn't get none of the good stuff she had worked for. She asked simply for her name, Tina Turner, which was in controversy. And she had to fight to get her name. But her name meant something as she was able to go out and reestablish herself after several years of hard work. Her big break came with the Private Dancer album, which was critically acclaimed. I remember buying it and listening to it for hours. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. NEO something will do. Oh my God, I just listened to it forever. Then her next big break was Thunderdome that she did with Mel Gibson. And she sang Beyond the Thunderdome, moved to Europe, and became as big as Madonna, if not bigger. Hell of a lady from, I think, Natchez, Tennessee or something like that. I loved that woman, and she had some legs on her too. Even in her 80s, she still had them damn legs. She was beautiful and strong and incredible. And so to her family, I say condolences. And to her memory, I say job well done. With great grace and quality and self-esteem and accomplishment. Man, that was one hell of a lady. The angels in heaven have received a siren, and we have lost a great voice. Thank you for all of the years of beautiful songs and entertainment at the cost of a lot of personal sacrifices. Rest well, Tina Turner. Rest in power. I'm Black Dragon. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. We'll try to be back on schedule tomorrow, back at our 10 o'clock in the morning time slot. Be working hard to make that happen. Be well. Kiss the people you love. Life is not promised. Let everybody know how much you love them. And we shall see you again.
Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospect's Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.
We will see you in a minute when we break out. The first one that we're going to be looking at is
Well, let's do yours first.
Yeah, how about you first?